I'm currently working on a talk that I'm giving next week, and I'm a big storyteller, and I wanted to jump on and kind of share the story and help you all in case you're in a similar position as a leader of an organization. So my sweatshirt says, the worst they can say is no. And this was a saying my entire life that my mother grew up saying. The worst that they can say is no. So ask for the appeal, ask why, keep asking. I'm first generation. I grew up low income. I go to college. First year, that package was gorgeous, right? The financial aid package. I had grants, I had some loans, but it seemed as though the community, the campus was going to care for me. Sophomore year rolls around, package comes in. It is all loans, and I had to actually go get a ton of private loans. My mom said, push back, see if there's an appeal process. The worst they can say is no. And so, of course, I went, and I was lucky enough that my campus did have a very detailed process of the appeal process with the timeline. But here I was sitting there going, wait a minute, until I paid, there's a registration hold that goes on. So I can't start classes, which means, and then with the timeline of them making a decision, I would essentially have to take a semester off. And there's no guarantee that they were going to give me money. I was a terrified 19-year-old. I didn't want to be outed to my friends that me and my parents couldn't afford college. I didn't want to be a statistic, which one of the big statistics out there is low-income students. If they take a break, most likely will not return and end up being a dropout. I didn't want to disappoint my parents and everything they did to get me to this place. And so I just went and called Sally Mae and took out a bunch of loans. And so even though, taking this example and applying it, there's so many occasions where we really make students who are from historically underserved communities into monolithic groups, right? My entire career I've heard, well, first generation students, low income students, they don't know how to ask questions. I actually was raised to ask questions. I was raised to push back. I chose not to do it because I was a scared 19-year-old who didn't want to be seen as different to my peers. And so how do we make sure that we are creating policies, procedures, practices that are actually attuned to what our students want, to our constituents, what our constituents want, are tuned to what is the lived reality?